Hey guys, we've got a slightly new format for you this week. It's crunch time, and today we're making unicorn and dragon cupcakes. This recipe's a really easy one for everyone in the family to get in on. Remember to pull your hair back. I've got my unicorn shirt. I'm just gonna slip on my apron. Go ahead and get yours ready, and let's get started. Now you can use any sort of cake recipe for this one. I would highly recommend a white one. You can do a homemade recipe or a box one. Whatever is easiest for you. You're gonna need that, some food coloring. I actually was able to find some pre-colored cake mix at the store on sale. Thank you, Halloween bargains. So with that, let's get started. Okay guys, let's go ahead and get our cake batter ready. So follow the instructions whether you're making your homemade recipe or if you're following along to the instructions on your box mix. Make sure that you blend all your ingredients and whisk them really well together. We want a nice smooth cake batter. Now after you've added in your wet ingredients, that's when you're going to want to go ahead and start adding in your food coloring. Now I'm using the pre-colored package that I found on sale, but I'm going to go ahead and add a little extra color if I feel I need to be able to get the color nice and rich. For the dragon cupcakes, I'm making a nice bright green color that gives a very nice effect, and it should bake really well for us. Okay, with our dragon batter ready, I'm going to make our unicorn one. I'm making this one a nice purple. I've already got the dragon cupcakes in the cupcake liners. I've already pre-sprayed the pan. I used some pan baking spray. You can also use Baker's Joy or whatever kind of baking spray you prefer. This is going to help you get your cupcakes and the liners out of there. I'm using white liners. A lot of folks like to use colored ones, but I find with the dyes for the colored ones, the color bakes out from the heat of the oven. So using a nice clear or white one, you'll be able to see the color of your cake after it's baked. So now that I've got the unicorn one nice and ready to go, I'm going to show you guys. I had so much extra batter. I'm going to go ahead and combine these two cake batters together to show you guys how you can do swirled cupcakes and swirled cake patterns. So you'll start by pouring your first color in, and then you'll pour your second one onto the top of it. Don't forget to scrape those sides. And then, after you've got as much of the second color in there as you want, use some kind of a tool to help scrape the colors together. You want to blend them without stirring them. I'm using one of our reusable chopsticks, and you just want to swirl that around so that it makes a really nice little pattern in there. That's going to help your colors swirl and blend. You can also do the same technique by pouring it in on one side and the other using a pitcher at the same time and blending them that way with another tool like a skewer or a chopstick or a spoon, anything like that. Now I'm just going to go ahead and pour in the batter for the unicorn ones into the cake pan, just like so, nice and slow. You can also use a drinking pitcher, you can use a measuring cup with a pour spout, whatever you have on hand at home that you like to use for a project like this to help get your cupcakes in there. Even a measuring cup works really well. So the cupcakes are going to take about 30 minutes or so to be able to bake, but what do you do in the meantime? Well, you could always watch a new episode of one of the latest animes. Don't know what to watch? Tune in this Friday for our latest anime talk for more recommendations from yours truly on what you can watch while your stuff's baking. Now, let's get back to the show. Okay, now that our cupcakes are baked and they look great, I've gone ahead and pre-iced a few of them, but I'm going to show you guys how I made my swirls and my flat tops on here. So, with your piping bag, you're going to do a nice little swirl. Now, for the unicorn ones, I'm doing about 2.5 swirls. So you're going to go around once, twice, and a boop, right off at the top. For the flatter ones, for our dragon cupcakes, you're going to stay nice and low. Don't be afraid to scrape that bag to help get all the rest of the buttercream out. I try to make sure I only put enough in there for the 6 cupcakes that we were going to decorate today. And then, once you've got it on there, you can tap the bottom of the cupcake against your surface area, and that's going to help spread out your buttercream nice and even on the top of the cupcake. So we've got our swirls and our flat tops. They look great. Now I'm also going to need our colored buttercream, which I have ready. I'm making a purple for our unicorn ones and green for our dragon ones. Now real quick, I'm going to show you guys how to prep an icing bag because I found a lot of people don't know this. So these little plastic bits that you put on the inside, you're going to cut the tip of your piping bag, slip the white part, the bigger part, on the inside of it. Then you're going to take your decorating tip and on the outside of the bag, slip that on, and then with your circle couplet, you're going to slip that over the end and help secure that into place. And that is going to make a nice secure seal for you to put your buttercream in and be able to decorate with. Okay. So now that I've got my piping bag ready, I'm going to make the mane for our unicorns. I've already done it on the first two, so I'm going to show you guys how I did it on this last one. So using a rosette decorating tip, I'm just going to make some nice little swirls going down the back side of the cupcake. I'm going to go nice and even, make cute little curls and swirls going down to be able to make a nice full pretty mane on the back of our cupcake. If you need to, go ahead and pick it up so that way you can get the right angle to see what direction you want it to go in, and that's going to make a really pretty mane. Okay, now I have our yellow piping bag ready to go, and I just have a small circle decorating tip on that one, and right on the top inside of the mane a little bit, I'm just going to start making a nice little swirl. Ooh, watch out, if you add so much color to your buttercream, it might get a little less firm and it'll get a little liquidy. But you're going to start from the center and pull up, making a swirl, and this is what's going to help make your nice little horn for your unicorn. Okay guys, and now using a white bag of buttercream and our leaf tip, you'll be able to find these anywhere where you get your baking supplies. We're going to secure that onto our decorating bag using the couplet again. And this is what I'm going to use to make the ears for our unicorns. So you're going to squeeze it out with one of the pointed ends facing outwards and one behind. That way you know it's lined up just right. You're going to make a nice wide little base and then boop, just pull away. Now this is a great decorating technique, whether you are making leaves for flower cupcakes, whether you're making ears for your unicorns, like we are presently. Don't worry if the ears turn out a little longer than you expect, they'll still be cute. Or, like what I'm going to show you, you can use this technique for later, making scales for a dragon cupcake. It's a really fun and simple technique that you can use in a lot of different ways if you're working with buttercream, and I really like it. Look how cute those ears look. Okay, I'm sitting down for this one so that way I can be nice and close to make the finer details so we can start making the faces on our unicorn cupcakes. So I have a little bag of black buttercream that I prepared beforehand, and I have a small circle decorating tip on the end of the piping bag. And I'm just going to go in and essentially make 3 U shapes. 2 for the eyes, 1 for each, and then 1 U for the mouth. Now the smaller the piping tip that you use for this, the tinier and finer the details you'll be able to make. I'll turn these around so you can check out the 2 that I have finished here. Aw, aren't they sweet? But you can also use this technique. Like I said, the smaller the icing tip that you have to be able to decorate with, you could be able to give them eyelashes, you could give them a smaller mouth and do really fine, teeny tiny little details to help them come out of their little cupcake wrappers and look super cute. Next, I'm going to use our edible glitter. In this case, I found a gold sanding sugar. They were all out of edible glitter when I went to the store, but this will work just as well for what we're going to do. Alright, so using our edible glitter or gold sparkling sugar, I'm just going to shake out a little bit of that and use one of our clean brand new brushes just for decorating. And I'm gently going to use the paintbrush to tap that into place onto the horns. Now you can use this really easily with edible glitter. This is a great technique to be able to add that or luster dust onto cupcakes, cakes, cookies, anything that you want to add a little glitter or shimmer to. You always want to use some kind of a brush. Don't use your fingers or any other kinds of tools. The brush is a great way to be able to get that on there and get nice little details added, and you have a lot more fine motor skill control on that. And this will just be a fun little thing. You can also get some of the edible glitter or sparkling sugar onto the tip of the brush and then just tap it as well to help get it onto the cupcake, especially if you're going to do an effect where you sprinkle it all over the top of it, which I think their mains could use a little bit of glitter. So as soon as I'm done with the horns, I'll show you guys the tap technique. Ta-da! So I'm just going to scoop a little bit of that onto my brush and tap, tap, tap it onto the back of the mane so that we can add a little glimmer and sparkle onto there. Okay, so I have my unicorn cup with some warm water and a decorating spatula, and we're going to use these on the dragon cupcakes. So I'm going to dry off that knife. The main thing that I want from it is that it's still warm, because that warm knife, we're going to use it to go over the top of our flat top style we did on the dragon cupcakes and smooth out the top and a little bit of the edges of them. Now, every time you get a little buttercream on there, go ahead and wipe that off with your paper towel and then right back in your warm or hot water, and then dry it off again and right back onto your cupcakes. This is going to allow you to help smooth out the buttercream so you can make a nice flat surface and a clean canvas on the top of each cupcake, so that you can go in and do specialty designs on it. You can do an image of something. You can write somebody's name on it. This is a really nice, simple way you can prep your cupcakes in advance so you can do special custom decorations on them. Now that those are all done, let's get ready to start doing our special design on it. Okay, now that we have that smooth top, I just took a toothpick and I went over the top of each of our cupcakes and made an oval cat's eye kind of shape, because I decided to make our dragon cupcakes these big, intimidating dragon eyes. I don't think with our light on you guys can see the subtle line that I made in the buttercream, but it's a great way to go ahead and kind of sketch out what you want to do before you put in your details. So now with our leaf tip and our green buttercream ready in a piping bag, I'm just going to go in and start making layers of scales using the same technique. Start with a nice little base and then pull away to be able to make those scales. I'm starting at the bottom and then working my way over the top of it to be able to make a nice layered effect. This is going to add kind of a three-dimensional effect to the cupcake, and it's going to give it a little more character and detail. This is going to take a little bit of time, so I'll pause the video and we'll come back once I've got a little more detail done. And ta-da! So there is our dragon eye with all of our scales piped on there, and it's ready for some more detail. Okay, so going back to our yellow buttercream we used earlier, I've got a wider circle tip on the top of that. Now I'm just going to fill in the spot that I left open for our dragon eye, and again using our decorating spatula and our warm water, we're going to dry that off, and then I'm going to smooth out the top of it so we don't see any creases or lines from me filling in for the eye. Once that's done, next we can go in with our next piping bag and start putting in more of those details. But slowly and surely our dragon eye cupcake is coming together. Now using our black buttercream and again our smaller circle tip, I'm going to come in and do those details. I'm going to start by going around the edge and defining that eye just a little bit more. Now remember, the smaller the decorating tip you do, the more little details like that are going to come out. Next, I'm going to come right down the center and give him a slit cat eye style pupil. And with that, ta-da! We have a nice creepy dragon eye cupcake ready to be devoured by your little dragon slayers. And there we have it, guys. We have our dragon eye cupcake and we have our sweet little unicorn cupcake. Perfect for your next D&D session or for your next fantasy themed birthday party. Enjoy!